Hi, welcome to this demo of Spectrum Protect Plus new S3 offload capability. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a service level agreement that does offloads, and then we'll do a manual backup and a manual offload to Spectrum Protect. After that, we'll go ahead and do a restore from Spectrum Protect. In the previous video, I went through setting up inside of Spectrum Protect an object agent and an object client. I then showed you how in Spectrum Protect Plus you can set up a correlating storage repository. So if you haven't done that yet, you'll need to do that before you set up a service level agreement. Let's go ahead and get started. To set up an SLA, which will do the backups to the local vSnap and then offload them to Spectrum Protect, go into Manage Protection, then go into Policy Overview. You can see our existing SLAs that are already there. Click on Add SLA Policy. You're going to give the SLA policy a name. We're going to call it Daily Backup with Offload. We're going to change the retention on the Spectrum Protect Plus vSnap storage down to 7 days. You can turn on replication, and this would be Spectrum Protect Plus replication, or you do not have to. In our case, we're going to choose not to. Instead, we're going to choose to offload, and you can either offload to cloud servers, or you can offload to a repository server, which in our case is Spectrum Protect. We're going to go ahead and pick the target offload server that we already set up in the previous video, which was called Proto. We're going to choose to have the offload start time be at 8 a.m. in the morning because our backup's occurring at midnight, so we want to give it a little time for the backups to complete before we do any offloads. And we're going to set the retention on the less expensive Spectrum Protect storage to 60 days. The Spectrum Protect Plus server itself is going to be in charge of deleting the files off of Spectrum Protect when they expire. We're going to go ahead and click Save, click OK. Now we're going to choose a hypervisor to associate with this service level agreement, and obviously you could choose one or more. We're just going to do a search for a specific virtual machine, and we'll go ahead and just select this one here to be associated with it. Now remember, you can associate one or many machines to be backed up with this policy. We'll go ahead and select the SLA policy, and we're going to choose our daily backup with offload for that particular VM. A new feature that came out in Spectrum Protect Plus 10.1.3 is the ability to do a on-demand backup. You can actually go directly back into that virtual machine and click Run for doing a backup. And if you have multiple SLAs associated with that, it'll allow you to select which SLA you want to run. In our case, we only had one, so it's going to go ahead and kick off the daily backup with offload. Go ahead and click OK. And of course, if you hadn't done an on-demand backup, this virtual machine would have been protected by the SLA policy on a nightly basis, and then the offload would have occurred on its own at 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay, now if we go back into Jobs and Operations, you will see that VMware Daily Backup with Offload is currently running. The type is backup, which means that it's going to the local vSnap, and we can see that it is actively running. Over on the right-hand side, it will give us a little more details about the backup job. You'll notice here we got a warning, and this warning is just telling us that we're using a proxy server that exists on the same server as the Spectrum Protect Plus server. And so some of your test environments will be set up this way. For more scalable Spectrum Protect Plus environments, you will have your proxy servers on different machines. Okay, well that backup's running. Let's go take a look at some of the other options that are new in 10.1.3. If you go into Disk, you'll see the current vSnap disk storage that's out there, and our current backup is going to this particular vSnap storage. If you go into Cloud, the cloud servers could be Amazon S3, IBM Cloud Object Storage, or Microsoft Azure Blob Storage. And so if you click on one of those, you could go ahead and do a cloud registration, and of course you would need the information that the cloud provider itself provides, like the key name and the access key. These cloud pools could be used to offload your backups to for longer, less expensive retention. And if you click on repository server, that's where you would see the repository server that we created in the previous video, which is a Spectrum Protect repository server. And you can also see the access keys and the certificates that we stored when we created the Spectrum Protect repository server. Okay, back on jobs and operations, you'll see we currently have no jobs running, but if you click on the job history, you'll see that the backup we did for that virtual machine has completed, and the status is successful. Now that the virtual machine backup is done, we'll go ahead and kick off a on-demand offload. In order to do that, we're going to go into backup, and then we'll scroll down to the SLA policy set. We'll choose our daily backup with offload. Notice here the next run date. This will show, if we do not do an on-demand, what time the next backup will occur. If we go ahead and click Actions, Start, and then we're going to choose to do an offload instead of a backup to vSnap. Now the offload will be for all virtual machines that are covered by that SLA policy, whereas the on-demand backup was just for that one virtual machine. We can see that this offload has started. The offload can be for all different types of data, including VMware, Hyper-V's, DB2, Exchange, Mongo, Oracle, or any other type of data that we protect. You can even offload your Spectrum Protect Plus catalog backups. You can offload either to cloud providers or to the Spectrum Protect server. If we switch over to the Spectrum Protect machine and go into servers, click on the Spectrum Protect server that we're utilizing called Proto, go into details and choose active tasks. You will see the processes that have been started in conjunction with the Spectrum Protect Plus server, VE Guardian-CE7, and you can see that the offload is running. If we go into Command Builder for the Proto, and we do a query file space for the VE Guardian-CE7, you will see that this object client is writing to a file space of type bucket, which is basically just object storage underneath Spectrum Protect, and Spectrum Protect Plus is using S3 to write directly to that object storage. If we go into Clients and then click on Object Clients, if we take a look at this object client VE Guardian-CE7, we can see that it is still active. In this case, it's still doing an offload from Spectrum Protect Plus. If you look at the details and go into file spaces, you will see the name of the file space is the name of the object client followed by a Unix date. Likewise, if you go to the Summary tab, you'll see the details on this, including the activity that occurred over the last 2 weeks. Since this was the first backup, it offloaded the base backup to the Spectrum Protect server. Inside the Spectrum Protect Plus vSnap, you'll see the logical full backup represented for every recovery point. And Spectrum Protect is providing the object storage to offload these two, as you saw here. And this virtual cloud block device that exists on the vSnap system in Spectrum Protect Plus allows a pool to be created or exported or imported. And it uses a virtual block device where all the data is composed into objects and then stored into the Spectrum Protect object storage. The Spectrum Protect Plus pool is going to incrementally copy that data into the offloaded pool on Spectrum Protect using sends and receives. The Spectrum Protect Plus vSnap is then going to maintain a block map that keeps track of which objects hold every block of the offloaded pool in Spectrum Protect. And so once there are no longer any snapshots that depend on a block, it is then eligible for deletion from that Spectrum Protect object pool. However, some objects are composed of many blocks, and so Spectrum Protect Plus will not instruct Spectrum Protect to delete an object until all of the blocks stored in that object are no longer needed. Now, tiering from Spectrum Protect is still supported for these object storage, so you could tier out to different types of containers. Another thing to note is that Spectrum Protect Plus will compress the data in its vSnap, so when it offloads it to Spectrum Protect, it'll actually be less than your initial backup. So here, if you look at the offload, you'll see that it offloaded approximately 4.6 gigabytes, where if we go and look at the original backup of the virtual machine, which in our case was a base backup, it was 11.36 gigabytes. And once again, the difference is just because the Spectrum Protect Plus vSnap compressed the data prior to offloading it to the Spectrum Protect object client. Let's go ahead and do an incremental backup of the same virtual machine. We'll go into Backups, we'll select the SLA, and this time we'll click on Actions and click Start. We'll choose to backup to vSnap. Then we'll go ahead and click OK. This is backing up all of the virtual machines that are associated with the SLA. In our case, it's only one, but if you had more, they would all be backed up. You also see here in the details that this is an incremental backup of the virtual machine. And because it's incremental, it's only backing up, in this case, 126.25 megabytes. Now that the backup finished, if you go into Jobs and Operations and look at job history, you will see the backup successfully finished. Now we're going to do an on-demand offload to Spectrum Protect. So click on Backup, scroll down to the Service Level Agreement, click on Start, choose to do an offload, and click OK. This will be an incremental offload of the current backup. One thing to note is the file system name that it's being offloaded to. It is the Spectrum Protect server name with the port, with the object client, and a Unix timestamp. Okay, next let's go ahead and do a restore from Spectrum Protect. We're going to go into the hypervisor's VMware restores. We're going to search on the virtual machine with the name TUC, and you'll see here the virtual machine we backed up. You'll see on the local vSnap there's two copies, the original base plus the point in time from the incremental we took. Now, if this was a real environment, you would probably want to restore from the vSnaps because that's going to be faster, better performing. But we're going to choose to filter on the repository servers, where now you'll see our base backup and the incremental backup. We're going to go ahead and choose to restore the first point in time backup that has been offloaded to the Spectrum Protect object store. So when we click on that, it gets added to the restore list. Click on Options, and that'll take you to a page where you can choose the restore type. We're going to do a test restore type. This will attach a data store back to VMware, and the data store will be running directly from the object store in Spectrum Protect, so actually no data is copied anyplace else. We'll go ahead and take the default on the rest of the options. So we'll click Save and then scroll back up and click Restore. You'll see the restore job kick off. You'll be asked to confirm you want to start the job, and then you'll get information that it was successfully created. If you scroll down, you'll see the job sessions that have been started up inside of Spectrum Protect Plus. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see the active resources for the virtual machine that's being mounted. Okay, let's go ahead and switch over to vCenter. In the vCenter, underneath the cluster where this VMware image was, you'll now see a new VMware image that has a test1 underneath it. And this is the VMware image that is being restored. And this was done by attaching a volume from the Spectrum Protect server's object storage. What's actually happening underneath is in vSnap, every recovery point is a logical complete backup. And so we offloaded those. Now, when it comes time to restore, we're using a virtual block device. And basically, we have a mounted file system using this virtual block device, and it's backed by a virtual cloud gateway device. And this only brings back the bits from Spectrum Protect that are needed. And so, for instance, if you go to power on the virtual machine, we'll first import the file system, and we'll read back some of the file system metadata so that we can bring up the virtual machine. We do have this pool that's mounted to vSnap where we're pulling the bits back from, and that pool is exported using NFS and is attached via the data store to this vCenter. You can see here in the tasks where we did create the NAS data store, then we registered the virtual machine, then we created the virtual machine, and we powered on the virtual machine. And here you can see that copy of that backed up virtual machine coming up as a test machine. Okay, let's go ahead and go back and look at inside of Spectrum Protect Plus. Back in Spectrum Protect Plus, underneath the Active Resources tab on the Restore, you have a couple actions you can do with this resource. If you're done with it, you can click Clean Up. If you want to move it to production, you can click Move to Production, or if you want to clone it, you could click Clone. In our case, we're just going to go ahead and click Clean Up, and then you'll see above in the activity log where we are cleaning up the VM Restore resources. And if you go back into the vCenter, you'll see that that virtual machine is now gone. It's been powered off and removed. So in summary, Spectrum Protect Plus 10.1.3 gives you the ability to offload versions of backups to either Spectrum Protect or other cloud resources, and these can be used for long-term data protection. Spectrum Protect Plus will manage those and allow you to restore directly from those locations. Thank you.